Hey everybody, we're going to go over the unit exams today. This one's going to be quite detailed, it's going to be pretty lengthy. So get something to drink, get something to eat, and away we go. This is really the culminating video where you'll really be able, where you'll be directed on really how to succeed in this course. So the unit exams are available in a couple of places. They're available in each unit, and they're also available collectively here. So individually, unit exam 1 is available here, unit exam 2 is available here, so on and so forth. And they're all located collectively in here. So let's go to unit 1, December 2nd to the 7th. And the exam is located within that folder, but before we get there, I want to make sure you understand how to prepare for the exam, which begins now, right? So whenever you're watching this, hopefully it's Monday night that you're watching this and not putting it off till Tuesday or Wednesday before you go through this. You want to at least get your hands on the information for this week tonight, right? You might not understand all of it tonight. You certainly probably won't understand all of it tonight. But if you allow yourself to begin now, by the end of the week, you will be sufficiently familiar with the information to succeed on the exams. But it takes chugging away at this and taking this in pieces. All right, so let's click Reconstruction and see what's in here. Now the Reconstruction content, this one is the only one that will actually have an assignment associated with it. This is assignment 1. Let me label this right here real quick for you. So I just want to, let me just click this real quick. You're going to click here, and what this will open up into is a documentary on Reconstruction. Oops, right there. And so you'll watch this. And what I would do is I would just take these questions right here, and I would copy and paste them, copy and then paste them into a Word document. And as you watch this documentary, just take notes as you do. Put maybe some spaces in between the questions and just take notes as it seems appropriate. There we go. Okay. Anyway, to complete this assignment, you just click here and follow the instructions and submit your answers as indicated. Right, and do that before this Friday at 11:59. Okay, back to Unit 1 and looking at the actual lectures. So 90% of this class is based on the lectures and preparing for the essays that are associated with it. My advice to you, what kind of material you need to succeed in this course, is get yourself a spiral notebook or at least loose leaf binder and fill it up with binder paper, right? Whatever your preference is. But just have one thing that all of the material for this course is going to go into. You don't want a bunch of loose papers and trying to figure out where your notes are, right? 1, you do want to take notes, and 2, you want all your notes bound together and organized. Right? That's going to save you a lot, right? Ignore that advice at your own peril, right? Heed that advice and you will succeed. All of your notes should be in one place, some sort of binder or a spiral notebook, and make sure they're organized. That is, you know exactly where they're at, right? So if you need to buy some tabs to organize it in some way, like Unit 1 through Unit 5, or Reconstruction, the West, Social Darwinism, Labor Movement, these are the different lectures that we'll be going over. Buy lectures. Do it in any way you need to, so you know, so you can quickly turn to it without having roadblocks that you put in the way of yourself, right, for yourself. All right, so let's start with Reconstruction. Each lecture has an essay question associated with it. So each lecture has an essay question associated with it. So understand that right from the get-go, right? If you understand that, you're way ahead of the game, right? So each lecture, let me repeat it, if it wasn't clear, has an essay question associated with it. Before you even go to the lecture, write down that essay question on a piece of paper, right? On the first page of your notes. and then click the lectures. All right. Within each lecture, each lecture will be divided up into 4 learning objectives, anywhere from 3 to 6 learning objectives sometimes, right? This one has 4 learning objectives. What I would do right off the bat too is to write down those learning objectives and put maybe 5 to 6 lines, spaces of lines, 5 to 6 spaces between each learning objective. Sorry, it's late. It's been a long day. And what you want to do, here's how you're going to succeed in this course. So follow this to the best of your ability, right? Because a lot of students, what they'll do is that they will, especially the students that are bound to succeed, is they'll do this, right? They're determined to succeed, and what they're going to do is that they're going to try to write down every single word that I say. All right.
Hey everybody, how's it going?
And there I am talking about reconstruction. So they're gonna, and then they're going to email me and say, "Hey, I just took notes. I tried to take the essay, and I have no idea what I'm talking about. Help me." Right? There's a reason you're not going to get it on the first round of viewing this. You need to give yourself enough time and space to be able to view these 2, maybe 3 times. So that's why you want to start tonight. So what I would do, this is what I would do to succeed in this course. Write down that learning objective, watch the video, and just relax. Just take a deep breath and relax and say to yourself, I'm not going to get this. Right? Just say it, right? Just admit, I'm not going to get this the first time, right? The first time. And just take notes. Now, to understand, if you write down, this is why I mean you want to write down the learning objectives. You want to write down the essay question, right? And I'll explain what the learning objectives are in just a second here. If you write down the learning objective, that will automatically cue the inner workings of your brain to understand what's going to come up ahead. Right? That's real important, right? If you just click this,
for this lecture series,
it's just going to sound like Chinese or ancient Greek to you. Right? I'm just saying words, and something about history, and there's words like Reconstruction and years like 1877 in it. Right? You want to, if you write down that learning objective, discuss the 2 constitutional theories that evolved around the question of Reconstruction. That might not make any sense to you when you write it down, but as I'm talking about the information within that particular part of the lecture, you'll begin to say, oh yeah, he's talking about constitutional questions right here. Okay, here's one of them. I wonder what the other one is, right? So that's what you want to do. So as you're watching it the first time, just write down, to the best of your ability, notes that seem to respond to that learning objective. So write down individuals' names that I talk about. So if I talk about Abraham Lincoln, maybe write that down. If I talk about some guy named Johnson, Andrew Johnson, write that down. If I talk about Texas versus White, just write it down without putting any kind of pressure on yourself about what it means, right? And do I get it or not, right? Just write it down, and maybe you get it, maybe you don't, right? Who knows? And then you're ready for learning objective 2. Same thing, write it down, right? Learning objective 2 is discuss presidential reconstruction and how its weaknesses led to congressional reconstruction. Click the link and just take notes, right? Don't worry about write down every single word I say. Just write down individuals' names, events, dates, laws. Maybe if I'm talking about a battle, write that down. You don't have to elaborate on it. Just write it down. Learning objective 3, same thing. Learning objective 4, same thing, right? So just go through the learning objectives, take notes down, and then walk away from it. All right, the next thing you have to do for this unit is the West, place or process. Write down the essay question, and then write down the learning objectives. Right? Same thing, right? Just write this down, a brief discussion looking at the significance of the frontier in American history, be able to identify the 6 major values that come from the experience of the frontier. So click play, watch it, and go from there.
All right, so we're going to be
Okay? So then do that. Just go through the learning objectives. Don't put too much pressure on yourself if you're going to get it or not. And then walk away from it. Don't go back to it. Don't even think about it. Right? Do something else. Go play with your kid. Go eat a bowl of ice cream. Uh, go watch the game. Go drink a beer, or if you're underage, make sure it's soda pop. Um, so don't worry about if you got it or not. That's what you should do tonight, right? Do this tonight, not tomorrow, tonight. Remember, procrastination is not an option if you wish to succeed. So don't procrastinate in this class. There's no time to procrastinate, right? It's a mini semester. Tomorrow, come back to it, right? And just pick one of the essays to go to, right? So whichever one you thought was most interesting, Reconstruction of the West, go to whenever one looks the best to you, right? Go back to that one, and then with your notes, in front of you, the notes you already took,
discussing
push
the
play,
American frontier, the West.
and then this time you're gonna find, I guarantee it, you're gonna find that the notes that you take this time will begin to make more sense because you have come back to it, right? And at this time, really do try to take careful notes. Push pause if I'm going too fast. Write it down. And then when you're done, after watching this 5-minute and 42-second video, see if your notes begin to make sense to responding to this learning objective, right? A brief discussion looking at the significance of the American frontier. Be sure to be able to identify the 6 major values that come from the experience of the frontier. I will go over 6 major values that came from the experience of the frontier. So make sure that those are there and there's a description of those 6 major values, right? And do that for each of the learning objectives. Now, what are these learning objectives? The essays, again, what you're doing is you're preparing for the essays, and they should be usually about 6 to 10 paragraphs. Sometimes they're shorter, sometimes they're longer, right? Each one of these learning objectives should constitute a paragraph to 2 paragraphs. A paragraph is 5 to 6 sentences usually. That's a general rule of thumb. It doesn't always apply. Sometimes it's a little bit longer, sometimes it's a little bit shorter, right? At the end of this essay here, you will have, I guarantee it, anywhere from 6 to 10 paragraphs with each learning objective from the learning objectives. Again, each learning objective will constitute about 2 paragraphs, sometimes 1, sometimes 3, but 1 to 2 paragraphs generally speaking. That will give you all of the material you need to respond to this essay prompt. Now, where is this essay prompt going to show up? I'm glad you asked. Let me show you. So what we're going to do here is, let's go back to Unit 1 here. And by the end of the week, once you've gone through the Reconstruction material, once you've gone through the West, and you have taken notes to respond to this essay prompt and to this essay prompt, then you are ready to take Exam 1, right? Try to be ready for that by this Friday. It will be very helpful to you. From there, what you want to do is, okay, let me just say this. There's these essay prompts. You are not going to turn these essays in. You're not going to send these to me through email. You're not going to send me these through an assignment link. What's going to happen is, well, let's just go here to the Exam 1. Exam 1 will consist of 1 essay randomly selected from Unit 1, right? So you have 2 essays in Unit 1. Blackboard, when you take the exam, will randomly select either this essay or this essay, right? So you have to be prepared for both of them. All right, so it pays to work on this early, meaning beginning tonight. It pays to watch it 2, maybe 3 times, not all in one sitting, but over the course of a few times over the week, right? So if you start tonight, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. That'll give you time to maybe go through this 3 times. And then you want to practice writing this essay. Let me say a word about why you want to walk away from this material and go to sleep, right? And then come back to it later. When you walk away from the material, not worrying about it, like when you first watch it, right? When you walk away, you've taken your notes, and you don't worry about it if you get it or not. You walk away and you do whatever you do in your day. Go to sleep. Allow yourself to dream, right? Dreaming isn't just having these weird stories being told to you in the middle of the night. What's going on when you dream, literally what's happening, is your brain is organizing all of the events into the day in a way that makes sense to your brain so it can recall information later when it's important to do so, like when you're taking an exam. Seriously, right? That's what's going on, right? And so this is why cramming for a test never works, right? Especially for an essay. This is why procrastinating always gets in the way of succeeding, always. Sometimes you can get away with it, but especially in a course like this, you will not get away with it, right? You will not succeed in this course. You really want to honor the physiological nature of what the brain is capable of doing. It's not capable of eating all of this at once. That's a lot of information, right? This 1 week constitutes almost 3 weeks worth of material that you would normally do in a semester, right? So you really need to honor what the brain is capable of doing. Go to sleep, allow the brain to organize the information, come back to it, and this is why you'll have aha moments. You'll go, oh, cool, I get this information, right? It's making sense. You might not get it 100%, but you'll be familiar enough to it to where you can respond to all the learning objectives. So let's go over that again real quick. Just looking at reconstruction, right? So when you're done with reconstruction, this works for all of the lectures. When you're done with reconstruction, discuss the two constitutional theories that evolved around the question of reconstruction. When you're done with that, you should be able to write 1 to perhaps 2 paragraphs to respond to that particular learning objective. When you're done here with all of your notes, after looking at it a couple of times, 2, maybe 3 times over the course of 2 to 3 days, you should have enough notes to write a 1 to 2 paragraph essay, 1 to 2 paragraphs to contribute to the overall essay, right? Discuss the presidential reconstruction and how its weaknesses led to congressional reconstruction, right? And so you notice that this is coming straight from the essay question, right? They're related, right? So this is the first part of the essay. This is the second part of the essay. This is like the introduction right here. This is part of the body of the essay. Same thing with learning objective 3. Describe congressional reconstruction and how it was a reaction to presidential reconstruction. So after you've taken notes over the last couple of days, you should have enough information there to write a paragraph to perhaps 2 paragraphs of information, right? Learning objective 4, same thing, right? Then you have 4 learning objectives with anywhere from 6 to 10 paragraphs to respond to if that is the exam that's chosen during exam 1. Okay, so that's all there is to it to this course. It works for every lecture, right? Don't throw away your notes though once you're done with this unit, because you will be asked again for this information. And let's take a look at that, right? So that's unit 1. Let's move to unit 2. Here's some more information on social Darwinism. You notice it has an essay prompt. You notice it has an essay prompt right here. Click the folder, and it has the essay prompt there again. And there are the learning objectives, just like they were last time for the other ones, right? So I just want to make sure you understand that it works there for again. But let's look at the unit exam for unit 2. There's labor movement. You want to go through that one as well. And exam 2. So this exam 2, consists of 2 essays, not 1, 2 essays. 1 essay randomly selected from unit 1, and 1 essay randomly selected from Unit 2. So don't throw your notes away. This is why you want all of your notes and any essay that you write all nicely written in one space, right? In one binder or one spiral notebook and organized, right? Because you're going to have to go back to it. And this is the way it'll work all semester, right? This one expires December 14th. That's a Saturday again, but most of the exams expire on a Saturday. The exam is worth 10% of your grade, and you'll have 80 minutes. That is an hour and 20 minutes to complete this one. Okay? That's exam 2. Exam 3 has 3 different subjects to go through. Dawn of Empire, which is mainly dealing with the Spanish-American War, World War I, and the Progressive Era, 1901 to 1917. Exam 3 is located in here. This exam consists of 3 essays. Not 1, not 2, but 3. Exam 3 consists of 3 essays. 1 randomly selected from units 1, 2, and 3. So it will pick 1 randomly from each of those units. It expires December 21st, which is also a Saturday at 11:59 p.m. This exam is worth 15% of your grade. There is a 90-minute time limit, so an hour and a half to do this one. Exam 4, you've got the subjects right here: Return to Normalcy, New Deal, World War II. Exam 4 is located right here. This one will have 3 essays as well. It'll have 2 randomly selected from units 1 through 3. And it will have 1 selected from Unit 4. The exam for Unit 5, located in here, 3 essays as well. 2 randomly selected from Units 1 through 4, and 1 randomly selected from Unit 5. Right? That's the semester right there. Right? Units 1 through 5. Right? After that, you take the final exam. There will be 5 essays, 1 essay randomly selected from each unit, unless, of course, you have taken each of the exams. You didn't miss one of them, right? You got them completed. You didn't have to do a makeup worksheet or anything like that. You got them all, and you got a 90% or higher on each of them. Then you are exempt from the final exam. So that should be a good incentive to really do what you need to do to succeed in this course, so you don't have to worry about that final exam, which is 20% of the grade. So and the way you can think about that is if you get a 90% or higher on each of them, it's basically getting extra credit for each time you're able to do that, right? And do it consistently through all of this. It's open note, right? You're given all of the questions ahead of time, so it's actually not a high bar thing to do, right? To get that 90% or higher. You're welcome to send me your essays if you want me to look at them to make sure you're doing fine of those. Again, you're not submitting these essays to me. They will be randomly selected within the exams. Okay, that is probably enough information for now. So let me know if you have any questions whatsoever, if I can help you in any way. Email me and ask me any kind of questions you have. I'll talk to you guys later. Take care. Bye-bye.